couple of decades ago, I dove into the world of neuroscience because I was traveling around the country working with kids on the national team, trying to help them improve patterns. And because it was such an acute exposure and I was only there for a couple of days, it didn't really hold. So I had to really get into the world of neuroscience to understand how to create environments that were more successful in helping kids adapt to new patterns of movement. Part of that was belief and self-belief and the whole mind-brain type of conundrum that we deal with, the cognitive thinking mind and the physical neurons in the brain and all that goes along with it. And in the process of all that, in looking at this concept of self-belief and helping kids believe who they are and what they're about, I came to the realization that the person I'd known for almost 50 years, who's a wonderful human being, will bend over backwards for anyone, helps everyone, spends hours upon hours knitting these intricate little dresses for neonatal deaths, for angel gowns, and just really is wonderful, a wonderful human being. She didn't think she was a wonderful human being. She didn't think she was an awesome person. So having chewed on it for a little while, I decided one night in a quiet moment to take her head in my hands. And I said, "CA, I want to hear you say these words." And she looked at me with expectation, with a smile on her face, expecting I don't know what. I said, I want to hear you say, "I'm a wonderful person." And when she heard the phrase that she had to say, and it dawned on her what she was being asked to say, she just crumbled. She ended up in this mole of tears. And just the grimace and the torment that seemed to go through her face, just all I could do was just hug her. And hug her till she wrote it out and didn't say another word and let her be. But true to my nature, I came back a couple of days later and found a nice quiet moment. And as we slipped into it and I put my hands on her face, she knew what was coming. She knew what I was going to ask of her. And even then, even after having 2 days to think about it, neither of us having talked about it at all, she still struggled to do anything with it. She couldn't say anything. She struggled mightily, and eventually through gritted teeth and tears, she said, "I'm a wonderful person." And I said, "Yes, you are." I gave her a huge hug and again let her write it out. A couple of days later, I found a nice quiet time, and this time I just put my hands on her shoulders and looked her in the eyes and gave her a smile, and she knew exactly what was coming. I said, "I want to hear you say those words," and she looked at me dead in the eye. With a big smile on her face, she said, "I know, I'm a wonderful person." And I said, "Absolutely, yes, you are." I shared that anecdote with you because if Carol Ann can have problems thinking she's a wonderful human being, then chances are pretty good you do too. And the problem is that, we are our own worst enemies. And if we're not finding ways to see wins and achieve wins and feel wins in day-to-day life, then we need to find something at the end of every day, something every day where we can connect to ourselves and remind ourselves that we're awesome human beings. My advice, especially when I've worked with groups on this subject, is to stand in front of the mirror at the end of the day when you finish brushing your teeth and just look yourself in the mirror and give yourself this awesome smile and say, "I'm a wonderful human being," and truly believe it. And the truth of the matter is that the first couple of times you say it, you might feel totally uncomfortable saying it. I mean, when I've presented the subject to groups and I've explained to them that they're actually going to come out in front of the entire class and practice doing this, they end up with a look of shock in their face. They're no different from Carol Ann when I first presented the statement to her. She had no way to get around the pain and the anguish that just kind of took over her at that point in time. So, if you don't have someone to pull you out of a hole, then you need to pull yourself out of the hole. And my advice is take the time to do this at the end of every day.